Hi, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be going over how to write formulae of ionic compounds and it's very basic level, and this is for AS level, in particular for CCEA. On this channel I'm going to go over all of the CCEA specification. So yeah, I realized that there wasn't many videos on CCEA, so I decided to start making some. When we're looking at the specification, it says write formulae of ionic compounds by predicting the ionic charge from the position of an element in the periodic table. So first let's just go over that section. So if we're just looking at this part, looking at the ionic charge. So if we have a look at lithium, for example, if we draw out lithium, how would we find its ionic charge? So if we're to draw lithium out, it has 3 electrons. So it has 3 electrons. So in the first shell, it'll have 2, and in the second shell, it'll have 1. If it wants to be stable, it needs to have a full outer shell. And that is also the case when it's bonding with something else. For lithium to have a full outer shell, it needs to lose 1 electron. So once this electron is lost, lithium, as you will know from GCSE, lithium will form an ion, and because it's lost an electron, it's going to have a plus charge, right? So this rule carries on, so that basically means all of period 1 is going to have a charge of plus, period 2 is going to have 2 plus, and skipping our transition metals because they kind of vary. With fluorine, it's going to have -1 or 1 minus or just minus. Then group 6 is 2 minus, and nitrogen 3 minus, right? And these are mostly what you will be asked upon. Anything else, such as these elements or these ones, they'll generally give you in like numerical values, but they'll give you the numbers of like the substance so that you can actually make the compound. Let's take an example then of how to form an actual compound. If we have lithium, which is in group 1, and if we take chlorine, which is in group 7, so because it's in group 7, as we can see, lithium over here is in group 7, so it has a minus charge. So if it has a minus charge and lithium has a plus charge, these charges cancel out. So when we bring these two together into a compound, because they both cancel out, it is just LiCl. Because of this, anything in group 1 or in group 7 will not have any other numbers. It'll be very straightforward and the charges will just cancel out, because that means 1 plus and 1 minus. But mostly in chemistry we do not write a 1 in front of it. We'll just leave it as a plus and a minus. Let's take magnesium and chlorine this time. So if we take magnesium, which is in group 2, and if we take chlorine again, which is group 1, chlorine is in group 7. So because chlorine is in group 7, it's going to have a minus charge. And because magnesium is in group 2, it's going to have a 2 plus charge. So now this is where things get a little different. So first things first, this is the method I like to use. So we're going to cross this over on this side, and we're going to draw an arrow from chlorine down here. It's going to come over down here, and it's going to, we're just going to bring over the 2 under chlorine, and the chlorine, we're going to get this charge and we're going to bring it down here, which is just a 1, because a minus is just 1 minus and a plus is just 1 plus, but we're going to leave the negativity out of it because it's got nothing to do right now with forming the compound. So what we can do now is this magnesium, this is how many of the magnesium there's going to be, and for the chlorine, this is how many of the chlorine there's going to be. So if we want to put them together now, it's going to be Mg, as we can see there's a 1, and Cl, as we can see there's a 2. So MgCl2, right? So now we're going to go over some examples of this and just put it into practice. So here is a worksheet, and it's just a table up here showing us chloride and iron, and it's going to be zinc chloride, iron 3 chloride, gallium chloride. So we're just going to go through that like that, and if we can even just get the elements up here. So zinc is Zn, iron is Fe, iron here again is Fe, gallium we are actually going to leave out today, silver is Ag, and lead is Pb. And as you can see beside them there are these Roman numerals, and that's telling us the charge. So we could have we could have iron with in brackets 2 chloride, and that's just telling us the charge of the element that's in the compound. So because it has a 2 here, it's going to be Fe2 plus, and 3 is going to be Fe3 plus. Silver doesn't have any Roman numerals, so we'll leave that. Lead has a 4 in Roman numerals, so we are going to be putting a 4 plus there. If we take our iron and we have our chloride, which we know chloride is in group 7, so it's going to have a minus charge, and it's telling us that iron has a 2 plus charge. So we're going to cross these two together, bring over the 2 at the bottom here, and because it's a minus, it's just going to be a 1, and that's going to translate into FeCl, and there's a 2 there, so it's FeCl2, and that's what we can do here, FeCl2. Right, and because in the next instance iron 3 is combining with chloride, we are just going to do the same thing, but this changes to a 3, which means we now will have 3 chlorines in the compound, which then all we're going to have to do is put FeCl3, and it's that simple. Now let's look at lead. So lead will combine with chlorine or chloride, which chloride is just chlorine with no oxygens. So we're going to have our lead, which is Pb, and is telling us it's a 4 plus charge, with our chloride, which is a minus charge. We cross these over, that has a 1 because it's a minus, and this is going to be a 4, which if we join them together, Pb, one of them, and then 4 chlorines, we have 4 chlorines, and that's it, PbCl4, and that is our answer, PbCl4. And yes, that is really it on being able to make compounds based off of ionic charges using the periodic table. I hope you find this helpful, and please, there will be more videos on the specification in specific for CCEA, but also any A-level student. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.